Sakshi
Katvam Kanja Palasakshi
Asya Siha Kutasati
Kashyasiha Kutasati
Imamuba Purimbiru
Imam Pura Purimbiru
Chikeshashi Shamsasme.
Kinchit Krashisi Samsame.
My dear Lotus Eye, kindly explain to me where you are coming from, who you are, and whose daughter you are. You feel very chaste. What is the purpose of your coming here? What are you trying to do? Please explain all these things to me. So Prabhupada says, in the human form of life, one should inquire. Athato Brahma Jignasa. So in the same way, people instead nowadays they are acting on the platform of animals. So when they see opposite sex, they are only thinking of how to have sex, like animals do. So that's the difference. There may be so many questions about this world. People can come up with so many amazing questions. But the most important question is, who am I? Where am I coming from? What is my role? And so on. So similarly, just like Puranjana is asking, we should ask such questions, Prabhupada says, about our existence, about what Atma is all about. So that is inquiry about Atma Tattva. If we don't ask these questions, then like I said, in general nowadays when a man sees a girl outside, he's just thinking how to have sex. Just like animals, when a cat and dog meets, that's all they check out, right? Basically. So that's what Prabhupada says, don't become like an animal. So always in your life, where whatever you do, whatever situation you're in, you should always ask yourself, what am I doing in this world? Who am I? When you suffer also, you should ask, why am I suffering? What is the reason? Who am I? Right? Then you can raise your conscience from that anxieties or whatever. And when you are in anxiety, when you ask this question, then you will realize, man, I'm so attached to this position, this situation, like that. So this is a very good way of practicing Krishna consciousness also. Text 27. Kayeta nupatayeta
Kayeta Nupatayeta
Ekadasha Mahabhata
Ekadasha Mahabhata
Etavallalana Subru
Etavallalana Subru
Koyam Dehi Purasara
Koyam Tehi Purasara.
My dear Lotus Eye, who are those 11 strong bodyguards with you? And who are those 10 specific servants? Who are those women following the 10 servants? And who's the snake that is preceding you? Anyway, we have more or less understood that. You can read that. Text 28. Vande Bhavani Asi Athavat Ramapatim
Vande Bhavani Asi Athavat
Vichintati Kim Munibhadraho Vane
Vichintati Kim Munibhadraho Vane
Tvadangri Kamapta Samasta Kamam
Tvadangri Kamapta Samasta Kamam
Vapatma Kosha Patita Karagra
Vapadma Kosha Patita Karagra.
My dear beautiful girl, you are exactly like the goddess of fortune or the wife of Lord Shiva or the goddess of learning, the wife of Lord Brahma. Although you must be one of them, I see that you are loitering in this forest. Indeed, you are as silent as the great sages. Is it that you are searching after your own husband? Whoever your husband may be, simply by understanding that you are so faithful to him, he will come to possess all opulences. I think you must be the goddess of fortune, but I do not see the lotus flower in your hand. Therefore, I am asking you where you have thrown that lotus. So you can see, this is what's happening nowadays, right? Boy meets girl. Just flatter and make them feel so good. Oh, I'm goddess of fortune.
Where is the lotus?
So in the same way, Prabhupada connects some of these things. He says people worship goddess of fortune for wealth, goddess of learning for education or knowledge, and then Lord Shiva's wife for beautiful wife or beautiful husband, whatever. Like that. So here he's trying to figure out. But actually he's trying to enjoy. That's what it is. Right? In the questioning all, he's just saying, is she free or not? So similarly, the living entity, when he approaches something he wants, he's thinking, can I enjoy it or not? Alright? This is remember, it's an allegorical way of showing how boy meets girl kind of thing. But similarly, when we see something, we want that. When we think, who owns this object? Can I purchase it from them? Can I get it? Like that, So living entities are like that. And Prabhupada writes also very nicely. If you look at about the discussion about this certain personality, so you learn a few things. Like, for example, Lakshmi. He says Ravana also wanted to get Lakshmi. But then we understand that she cannot be without her husband Narayana. So therefore he says her name is also Chanchala or restless. So it is clear that Puranjana, Prabhupada says, is representing our intelligence while he is talking with the girl. He not only appreciated the shyness of the girl, but actually became more and more attracted by that shyness. He was actually thinking of becoming her husband, and consequently was asking her whether she was thinking of her prospective husband or whether she was married. That's how we want to enjoy things, anything, not just woman, anything. This is an example of Bhoga Icha, the desire for enjoyment. It's for everybody, man or woman. We all go through this process of thinking. Okay? One who is attracted by such desires becomes conditioned in this material world, and one who is not so attracted attains liberation. So this is what we are supposed to practice in our Krishna consciousness. Not to become bewildered and attracted by anything. Or they have they have a brand new car, our car is 5 years old, so we probably need to change and get a new one. What for? Right? But we think like that, no, we need because they got. Because we want to enjoy it. Yeah. It's actually our enjoyment that's causing it. Desire to enjoy this. Bhoga Icha. Desire for enjoying it. But then in the end, I like the statement that it says the material world is also the goddess of fortune, because the material energy works under the direction of Lord Vishnu, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Maya Diksha Prakriti Sriti Satcharacha. And then Prabhupada in the next paragraph says the material world cannot be enjoyed by any living entity. Right? Devi Yashogunamari Mama Maya Puripatra. So it's not possible. We think, oh yeah, I can. But all I have to do is get one more promotion and I can enjoy everything. It doesn't work like that. Cannot. So therefore we cannot enjoy Maya or the goddess of fortune. Both we cannot actually. We are in illusion, as initially was described. Text 29. Nasham varavanyatama bhuvisprit Purim imam viravarena sakam Arhasi alankartum adabra karmana Lokam param shri iva yagna pumsa Greatly fortunate one, it appears that you are none of the women I've mentioned, because I see that your feet are touching the ground. Tan, tan, tan. He said, oh, you're not. But if you are some woman of this planet, you can, like the goddess of fortune, who accompanied by Lord Vishnu, increases the beauty of the Vaikuntha planets, also increase the beauty of this city by associating with me. You should understand that I am a great hero and a very powerful king on this planet. So you see this very clearly in our society. Everybody, just see the school kids walking from school, how they act with the girls and the boys. This is all hero and heroine, like that. So in a sense, we all are imitating Radha and Krishna. Actually, that's what. Or Narayana and Lakshmi in this world. We all want to be like that, but we cannot. We all are bad examples of Narayana. Okay? And everybody wants a beautiful woman. I remember, when I was first time I came to America. So there was this, I forgot the name, Hindu magazine or something, Hindu World or in something like that. So at the back of it, they have marriage proposals. So many, quite a lot. Girl from Gujarati background looking for boy, Gujarati background, 5'4", must be 6 feet, boy must be 6 feet. What is all this? So this is how the whole thing is going on in the material world. So everybody, and then the boy side he will write, looking for a girl, must be fair, must look good. But then who is he? Is he Indra or what? Is he so handsome or what? Right?
Matrimonial.
Yeah.
Yes. Every week they. Every week they.
And they get bewildered. And then I was telling Prabhu yesterday also. Recently, one Prabhu came from India and he's in Houston. So he's looking for a girl. So he wants only Western girl. He's from India. So what is is it initiated or not? But look how we can get bewildered. Everybody wants to enjoy a beautiful girl. So he's seeing the Western woman. From India, when they come here, they see Apsaras. Gandharvas and Apsaras. So it's like, I can get one of these, I'll be in heaven. But Prabhupada says everything in this material is called Maya. Because you are in delusion. It's true. I was thinking, I told him, go back to India and marry a decent girl. He is not interested. He's going around asking every girl he sees. Because he bewildered. Yeah, it's true. Because that's his main goal now. Athatha Brahma Jigyasa. It's gone. No, it's true. You think it's the same thing. It's inquisitive, but he's going on the wrong way. He's thinking without that his life will be meaningless. Then after he gets married, he'll know what real life means. No, it's true. Then they realize another life.
She'll plunder everything and go
run. Anyway, we learn. You watch and you learn. Then you can understand. This is painful actually, to watch people suffering. Text 30. Yati samapanga vikanditendriyam
Yate samapanga vikanditendriyam
Savrida bhava smita vibramad bhuva
Savrita bhava smita vibramad bhuva
Tvayopasrishto bhagavan manobhava
Tvayopasrishto bhagavan manobhava
Prabhaddate tanugrihana shogane
Prabhaddate tanugrihana shogane.
Certainly your glancing upon me today has very much agitated my mind. Your smile, which is full of shyness but at the same time lusty, is agitating the most powerful cupid within me. Therefore, most beautiful, I ask you to be merciful upon me. What is this mercy? So basically, a man also will want to be under control of a woman like that, because he's agitated. And when you're agitated, you cannot think from the proper intelligence. You're thinking from the level of a sense. sense gratification. Yeah. The intelligence is clouded, so he cannot understand. So then they become bound to each other. So therefore another level of bondage. Text 31. Tvatananam subra sutara lochanam
Tvatanam subra sutara lochanam
Yalambini lalaka vrinda samritam
Galamini lalaka vrinda samritam
Niyameda shayavalgu vachakam
Niyameda shayavalgu vachakam
Yadvridayana vimukam suchismite
Yadvridayana vimukam suchismite.
My dear girl, your face is so beautiful with your nice eyebrows and eyes and with your bluish hair scattered about. In addition, very sweet sounds are coming from your mouth. Nonetheless, you are so covered with shyness that you do not see me face to face. I therefore request you, my dear girl, to smile and kindly raise your head to see me. So, again you see how they talk and discuss, right? This is how, it's very common, very common. And when you read this, you think, oh, this is too gross or something like that. But this is what Bollywood is, right? Bollywood, Hollywood, Collywood, what else? Tollywood and Jollywood. All this is what you are reading now. Prabhupada has very nicely shown us.
Tollywood is
Telugu.
most number of pictures taken in the world.
Really?
Andhra. Hollywood separate.
It's really sad. It seems that in India they really like movies and so on. It's
That's
so
only
enamored.
movies.
Huh?
She said only movies. That's it.
Movies, cricket.
Cricket, okay.
Cricket and
Which is higher, cricket or movies?
Movies.
Movies number one?
Because
But men-
no, both are like that.
No, because
When
even
there is
devotees
a
I know,
match.
serious devotees, when India-Pakistan match only, they are gone. Huh? Really good devotees, but India-Pakistan somehow or other, something in there.
Life and death.
Mahabharata.
Life and death thing.
Mahabharata.
So you can see how attractive the force is. You can control all your senses, but not India and Pakistan cricket match.
Prabhu, what to do if kids want to go for a movie? Should we not take
No,
them?
you-
If the
you
kids are not in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah,
should
but
they
you can up to a certain age you can screen it, and you should.
screen it means?
You should find out what the movie is about, and you tell them no for this. You can veto, and you can say they only watch those you approve. That's all. That way, at least they know, and they will learn some rules. But otherwise, then you have no rights anymore as a parent, right? Then what is the value of your parenting?
Up till 16.
Yeah? At least up to 16. Then you can tell them, And then after that, you say you can do what you want after that, but you go and find your own apartments and stay there. Because then you are still paying, no? So you are taking karma. If they do nonsense, you will suffer. So as long as you are under my shelter, you have to follow some rules, not all the rules. Yes.
So when they stay in their own apartment, you don't get karma?
No. Why?
If they pay and stay.
Yeah.
They pay from
So
there.
they are
Free to
On their
do
own.
whatever they like. It's very.
Prabhu, how can we do that?
Indian
Right?
parents generally-
It's
I
like
know,
parents
but
have
it-
left their
something
kids
you
and
need
we
to
are
take now.
responsible. Yeah.
You have to start thinking now. Think about all these things. We take it for granted, and you want a culture in your home Vedic, but then they go out on a culture that's not Vedic. So how can you expect them to follow your standards unless you have some rules in the house? So you may not want them to like chant or whatever, but there is some rules, right? Even in the outside, you go outside, you cannot do anything, right? There's rules. Cannot go run in the street and jump like that. People will say you're blocking traffic or whatever, right? So you talk to them intelligently. I'm sure they will respect your desires. Yeah.
In any case, by 18 they go to college.
Yeah, that's
Go
true. That's where most of the indoctrination takes place. But But I find that the parents who are strict in the beginning, the kids tend to follow good rules even in college. But those who always had their way, they will do an experiment. Like the parents let them go out, at very young age, 16 years, they give them keys, new car, go and do your own thing. And then they find later on in college, they experiment drugs, drinks, whatever you want. I remember one devotee, this girl, a devotee's kid, So she went to college from the home. They all want to go away from home because they think they get the freedom or whatever. So they stay in college. And then another girl who's going to college also, but she's not a devotee family. She comes to the temple. So then she met this girl in the college, and then she said, today is Ekadashi, why are you eating grains? And then the other girl is like, the one who's brought up in devotion, said, what is Ekadashi? We don't know anything. What are you talking about? Like that. And she walked away. So this girl came and asked the temple devotees, what happened? Why? So standards, if you train nicely, they will respect you. It's a question of trust and training nicely. If they know that you really are doing it for their welfare, they will do it. They will follow.
But for example, when kids are very small, Prabhu, whatever you say, in front of you they will try to do, but maybe, for example, don't touch or don't do that. When they see, let's say I'm gone, they try to do the same thing, right? So as they grow up also,
there must be some reaction that they know they cannot get away with it.
So we should teach them,
Yes,
I
you have
told
to
you,
be,
okay.
or in time out, go inside, no playing toys. Because you did it, I told you, no playing. And they have to know, they will throw tantrums, but you have to show them who's the boss, who's the father. Tough love.
So sometimes it's better to look what were you doing at that age. What
works.
What were you doing at that time.
Yeah.
And then where we are today,
Yes.
and there's a hope.
Yes.
That's the only thing drives. Right? We are not, at least I'm not into ISKCON and when I was 16.
Yeah.
But I know my family has a foundation. Just that helped me.
So the good values I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah. So
She's asking the same question.
Yeah, stressing out too much and
Yeah.
like disciplining, I don't think it works.
No. It depends on the nature of the child. You have to know your own kid well also. Some children can do better with strictness. Some needs, some may be vicious, so you have to do trainings.
Yeah.
It's true. You have to study them. Some may be Brahminical. Huh?
Dand is difficult here.
Huh?
Samadhana Danda
Oh,
Danda is difficult here.
Chanakya Pandit.
Yeah, here you can't touch your children.
No, here you don't because you go to prison.
Yeah, every day it's like negotiation with the kids.
Yeah.
And you still have to make the best of the situation.
I have a god brother who told he had four daughters. So they went to college and all. Then when they were going to college, they started arguing with the father. Then he said, no problem. If you want to do what the college kids are doing, we can go.
Not in my house.
But don't come back home. You can rent your own, work your own. He said, I have a certain rules I want to follow in my home. And as long as you're under my shelter, I want to protect you the way I want. So they had a negotiation. They agreed. And then later on, when the girls left home, they are still following what the parents taught them. They're free to do whatever they want. The father don't impose. But as long as they stayed at home, he wanted that strictness. So you have to see according to the child, and you can talk and explain and see, is it fair or not. And then there's another devotee who also had two sons, and they were nice kids though, but they didn't want to follow anything. So the father said, that's fine. But as long as you are a good person. So there are the different types of negotiation, like Prabhu was saying, we can do that. Yeah.
I think logically explaining them makes a big sense. You explain them the situation and then ask them, what will you do in this?
Yeah.
You decide.
At this time they are very logical.
Yeah. So then when you logically explain,
At this time they are seeking logic for everything.
Yeah.
The first thing Krishna is, show me, did you see Krishna?
Yeah.
How did you form the opinion?
Yeah, they
you
are
have life experience, I don't have life experience. All those things will come into picture.
Yeah, they're smart because they learn from outside. They
Yeah.
come and share with you, but you have to be smarter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how to make children Krishna conscious now?
How to make it? First, you start with Garbhadan Samskar.
And then after that?
Then after that, you get a good child, and the child will listen.
Follow yourself.
That will
You
happen
cannot
after-
work backwards.
Yeah, you cannot work backwards. You can negotiate backwards.
Negotiation is the only option.
Yeah.
Mostly they should be Krishna conscious if they are Garbhadan.
Yeah.
But still they have to follow practically, right?
No, you see, as long as the child is not independent, right? Like 16 years, so up to 16 years, so you can tell them what to do. After that, you cannot tell them. You have to talk.
That's the most important, like within 1 to 16.
Yeah.
Be-
So if you train nicely, then they will listen. Usually the problem is after what, 14, 15, like that. That's when they start.
And they come to high school.
Yeah. High school is a problem, it's a fact. American high school is the hardest, even for normal calmly people. They say that. You know? So, but if you train your child now, they don't mix bad association in school. In high school, you find they all come out nicely.
Some are exceptions like devotees in boys' age. 2 kids, they were homeschooled and they are so exceptional. I think they must have done Garbhadan Samskar because they are extraordinary.
Yeah, and some maybe from previous life also. Continuing whatever they are doing. You know, like that devotee Radharaman Prabhu and his
Radhika
brother.
The bride also exceptional.
Yeah, you know, they are like really advanced devotees.
Those are exceptional.
Yeah. So we give thanks to them, you know, because they're giving good example for other devotees and parents that it is doable.
They have spent a lot of time, Mataji especially has spent a lot of time
Yeah.
with them.
But you see, not all children you can do like that. That's my point. So you have to
Sometimes,
see
but
your child.
Huh?
Yeah. Like you see, ask her daughter
They
is like
spend
a
lot of
fire,
time.
right?
So many ways. to
She
tell.
runs around and you cannot put them. High fire, Okay, so anyway, if you understand knowledge, then you know things in its proper perspective. But if you don't know, then it's ignorance. So sometimes people say ignorance is bliss. So this is what you are saying in the case of Puranjana. Text 32. Narada Vacha
Narada Vacha
Ittam Puranjanam Nari
Ittam Puranjanam Nari
Yachamanam Adirava
Yachanam Dhirava
Abhyanandata Tam Veeram
Abhyananda Tam Veeram
Asanti Veeramohita.
Asanti Veeramohita.
Narada continued, my dear king, when Puranjana became so attracted and impatient to touch the girl and enjoy her, the girl also became attracted by his words and accepted his request by smiling. By this time, she was certainly attracted by the king. Anyway, this is how it is. Generally, a man, you see, like college football, the boys, quarterback or whatever shows up, and all the girls, so like that, like that. That's how attraction is on the material level. Text 33. Na vidama vayam samyak
Na vidama vayam samyak
Kartaram purusha rishabha
Kartaram Purusha Sabha
Atmanascha parasyapi
Atmanascha Parashyapi
Gotram nama cha yat kritam.
Gotram Nama Chayakritam.
The girl said, O best of human beings, I do not know who has begotten me. I cannot speak to you perfectly about this, nor do I know the names or the origin of the associates with me. So, in the same way, we also don't know who we are in the beginning, unless we come to Krishna consciousness, spiritual master who's telling us, just like Sanatan Goswami approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He put a glass and then he said, who am I?
Yeah.
People say I'm a great person, I'm a minister, a learned person, but actually I don't even know who I am. So that is very needed for us also. Right? So similarly, you see in this world, the scientists are trying to figure out how the creation is. So they look into the stars, right? They dig the ground, look at the bones, like that. Carbon dating, all kinds of things. But actually we have the source knowledge already, right, from the Vedic perspective. So if we approach the right source, we can get the right understanding. So in reality, the scientists who are trying to, they can also say we don't know how we became, human beings came, but no, they are following some theory propounded by Charles Darwin. We came from monkeys. It's an interesting concept. Okay. But actually all these things, one of the biggest problems in this material world is everyone is thinking this place is permanent. That's very scary actually. Because you see so much chaos around the world, right? Now because of the problem in Paris, I was just talking long distance this morning to one devotee, and he was saying in their country now it takes 6 hours just to go through immigration checkpoints. Used to be like 5 minutes or like that. Now 6 hours. Because people are now so fearful, Everything they check, come out, look at them, look at the shoes, everything in other parts of the world. People are now going crazy.
I think they stopped at EU that they can't travel freely to the country. They need visa now in France. Before they have the
No, they had it was free long time ago. Then like a few years ago they made it's only valid for 90 days. It used to be free anytime, and you can only go to 3 EU countries.
The Schengen visa.
yes,
The Schengen visa.
It's called that.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you have to reapply, and they also you got to go back before you apply. All kinds of rules. So that is why India also followed for some time. I think, right? If you stay there and you leave, you cannot come back immediately. You have to go away for 1 month and then come back. But they had problems with the devotees, so they had special visa. So the Maharaj is going in and now meetings and all. Next 34. Ihadya santam atmanam
Ihadya santam atmanam
Vidamana tataparam
Vidamana tataparam
Yeneyam nirmita vira
Yeneyam nirmita vira
Purisharanam atmanaha
Purisharanam atmanam.
O great hero, we only know that we are existing in this place. We do not know what will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place for our residence. This is the living entity. That's how they all are, right? You ask them, they say, why we worry? Right? We pump all the oil and use it. Who cares what happens in the future? Let the future generation suffer. Like that. But we are not supposed to be in such ignorance. The whole idea is to understand atato vigyasa. What will happen? Is there life after death? At the moment, they say there's no life after death. Therefore, you find the whole world, the activities is based on what I can get now. I can push forward, I can fight and do whatever I want. So therefore, you see, like, for example, we read, and you have to keep in touch with what's happening in the world, because you don't want to get caught. Anything suddenly happens, right? You cannot be like, oh, Hare Krishna in the home, and then outside the Seattle Needles terrorists are attacking. No, you cannot. You have to know and do the right thing also, right? So we have to know what's happening out in the world at the same time.
So you're saying something nowadays?
I know. I lost the train of thought. I was thinking of this. Yeah. So people think that this life is only for
One
this
life.
moment.
We just have one life.
And therefore, if I can enjoy as best as I can,
That's success.
that is, yeah, exactly.
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment. They all think everyone is a James Bond, You can go anywhere, shoot up, and then enjoy, and then at the end you are a hero, right? It's like this hero, she's saying. So everybody's thinking they are heroes.
Charvaka philosophy.
Hmm?
philosophy.
Yeah. Every single individual thinks he is the hero, right? because of so much ingrained identification in the body, you cannot think of anyone else. That's another reason why you have so much problem even when there's a family unit. Because each one in the family is not thinking or caring for other people. They're thinking, I am the main guy. And if the thing is incompatible, what they do? They divorce, and if it can't divorce, they kill, and they will go to court and say, oh, I felt my life was threatened.
Self-defense.
Yeah, they can, so much going on nowadays. All for the sake of enjoying the senses. And they don't believe in life after death. Because they don't accept the concept of soul. And therefore you see always Srila Prabhupada, when he meets someone new, he tries to make them see that they are not the body. Once you catch them accepting that, then you can say, you are a spirit soul, you cannot die. Then they will say, so what happens? Then the intelligence start clicking. Let's continue. 35. Ete Shakaya Sakyo me
Ete Sakhaya Sakyo me
Naranaryascha Manada
Naranaryascha Manada
Dayam Mai Jagarti
Dayam Mai Jagarti
Nagoyam Balayam Purim
Nagoyam Balayam Purim.
Dear gentlemen, all these men and women with me are known as my friends. And the snake who always remains awake protects this city even during my sleeping hours. So much I know. I do not know anything beyond this. So prana is always circulating in the body. So therefore it's always protecting, so to speak. Huh?
Protecting the soul.
Yeah, protecting this. You can say like that. So this when the jiva dies, all the subtle things with the prana will go to the next body. Like that.
Prana oil gets mixed with the air.
Well, in this case, this vital force is the soul consciousness. It's what is making the soul alive. That vital force he has, right? That's consciousness, So that goes with him to the next birth. Text 36. Distyagatosi bhadrante
Distyagatosi bhadrate
Ramyan kamana vipsase
Gramyan kama bhispase
Udvahishyami tam seteham
Udvyashyami tam steham
Swabandhuvi arindama
Swabandhuvir arindama.
O killer of the enemy, you have somehow or other come here. This is certainly great fortune for me. I wish all auspicious things for you. You have a great desire to satisfy your senses, and all my friends and I shall try our best in all respects to fulfill your desires. So the living entity is now coming into the material realm to enjoy, and so the material energy gives him all the facilities to enjoy based on his desires. Alright? So, and if he forgets how to enjoy, the super soul will give him the intelligence. Okay, this is what you want to enjoy. This is how to enjoy, right? You can study very nicely with children, very young children like your kids. You tell them like don't do this, then you see or you put something high up and say cannot touch. You see how they figure out. So that's how the intelligence is of the living entity. He'll figure out how to enjoy. So Prabhupada says, right, the living entity under the body concept line utilizes the intelligence to its best capacity in order to satisfy his senses at the end. No? Somehow, even you can see insects, right? You can see ants. If they find a way into your house, then you block the hole. Now after a few days, they find another place, and then they come through. So they're using the intelligence because they need to satisfy their senses. That's how it is. They're only doing their desires, fulfilling their desires. 37. Imam Tvam Maritistashva
Imam Tvam Tvam
Urinnava Mukim Vibhu
Purinnava Mukim Vibho
Mayopanitam Grinanaha
Mayopanitam Grinana
Kamabhogan Satam Samaha
Kamabhoga Satam Samaha.
My dear Lord, I have just arranged this city of 9 gates for you so that you can have all kinds of sense gratification. You may live here for 100 years and everything for your sense gratification will be supplied. Right? Body is meant to live only 400 years and that's it.
So this is specifically for Kali Yuga. This
Yeah, for Kali Yuga. Well, even in Satya Yuga also, 100 years means
their 100 years is
100,000 years from our point of view.
okay.
Relative. Yeah, they used to live 100,000 years. But in general, every living entity's life is 100 years.
What that year means is different.
Yeah.
Different times.
Like ants also live for 100 years, but it's only 2 weeks like that and they die. Like that. So it's a relative circumstances. So even if you say in Satya Yuga 100,000, but that's actually relative. Because they spend 10,000 years doing austerities or meditation like that. So then they finish 90,000 years. So just divided by, it comes out that they only have 90 years more, they spend 10 years austerities like that. It's all relative. I wouldn't worry so much. Text 38. Kam nutvaranyam ramaye
Kam nuvatvanam
yarati jnamako vidam
Hirati Gnam Kovidam
asamparayam vimukam
Asamparayam
asvastana vidam pasum.
Asvastana Vidam Vasham.
How can I expect to unite with others who are neither conversant about sex nor capable of knowing how to enjoy life while living or after death? Such foolish persons are like animals because they do not know the process of sense enjoyment in this life and after death.
Who is he
So-
talking about?
Huh?
Who is she talking about?
She's talking to him. She's saying that other in the human form you know how to enjoy sex life.
Okay.
In other forms you don't. You just meet and have sex and go on. So that's what she's saying. Right? You see, like we got billboards, we got some even selling car must have a naked lady. It don't make sense, right? All this is based on sex desire. So the human form they polish, make it so amazing, but it's nothing. It's just rubbing to Bhagavad says, palm of your hand, same thing. So you have shastras like Kama Sutra and all kinds of nonsense. Or now in America, their Kama Sutra is pornography, right? Online pornography or whatever they call it now. So nobody wants spiritual life, generally, except if you are transcendental. Except you are a yogi or a jnani, then they don't want. Generally, karmis all want to only enjoy. That's it. Text 39. Dharmo hi aprartha kamaucha
Dharmo hi ardartha kamauscha
janando mritam yasaha
Prajanando Mritam Yashaha
loka vishoka viraja
Loka Vishoka Viraja
jnana kevalino vidu.
Jnana Kevalino Vidudu.
The women continue. In this material world, a householder's life brings all kinds of happiness in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and the begetting of children, sons and grandsons. After that, one may desire liberation as well as material reputation. The householder can appreciate the results of sacrifices, which enable him to gain promotion to superior planetary systems. All this material happiness is practically unknown to the transcendentalists. They cannot even imagine such happiness.
The intelligence is corrupted.
Yes. Yes, the intelligence is saying enjoying is the right thing, not going for liberation. So there is, Prabhupada is so smart, he says people who think like that, they want to do the enjoying part. So that's pravritti, and nivriti. So we are in the everything. So we control the senses and follow rules and regulations. So they think that you after some time you must give up the sense enjoyment. But actually Prabhupada is so smart, he gives the example that if you pour ghee in fire, the fire is not going to be doused. So their logic is if you pour too much ghee, it will douse the fire. So therefore if you have too much sense enjoyment, you will give up. One day you will get satisfied, bored or something. Not many people give up like that. In general you don't. It's like snakes. You feed milk, it will bite you. So these things always will go on.
There is analysis also in US.
Yeah.
Like, after, let's say, if you follow this process, after 6-70 years, the sense enjoyment should come down. But then if you see most of the people who are going to this naked bars and other things, they are actually 70 plus years, 60, 70 plus years, 70, 80 people.
Because they want to live like a young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that analysis shows us that
The
no,
desire
enjoyment
don't
is-
go away.
Yeah, desire doesn't go away.
It is a fact. Once it's in your mind, very hard to get out that desire. So therefore you need a higher taste. Param Drishya Nivarti. Only that can stop. Otherwise you are. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada talks a lot about Pravritti Mark, Nivritti Mark and Griha Medis and how one should control oneself. Okay? We have covered this in different ways in different cantos, so I won't really want to spend time on that. Text 40. Pitrideva Rishi Martyanam
Pitridevarshi Madhyanam
Bhutanam Atmanaschaha
Bhutanam Atmanaschaha
Simyam Vadanti Sharanam
Shyam Vadanti Sharanam
Bhavismin Yadgrahashvamaha.
Bhavesmin Tadrishashanam.
The women continue. According to authorities, the householder life is pleasing not only to oneself but to all the forefathers, demigods, great sages, saintly persons, and everyone else. A householder life is thus beneficial. Right? In a sense, if you really understand Krishna consciousness properly, yes, householder life is beneficial for those who are married couples and so on. In fact, if everyone is Krishna conscious, it doesn't matter which ashram you are in. Okay? But in the material world, due to the ever strong contaminating nature of material energy, we get trapped and it becomes the most difficult ashram. Okay? Because all the other ashrams are renounced. Whereas the Grihastha ashram is the only ashram where you are all enjoying. So therefore it's the most difficult ashram actually. Okay? Anyway, in a Grihastha ashram you are supposed to do yajnas to satisfy demigods, the Supreme Lord and so on and so forth like that. But the problem is if you continue too much into this kind of lifestyle, you only become entangled in sense gratification. Right? But therefore it says Griha Medi. Griha Medi means
Overly addicted.
overly
To family.
yes. Overly addicted, and then they expect a lot of enjoyment for it. Okay? So Prabhupada quotes what Prahlad Maharaj says, right? Matirna Krishna Bharato Svacho Va Midu Bhadyate Griha Vratanam. Griha Vratanam. Okay? Griha Vratanam means too addicted to materialistic way of life or enjoying. They take a vow to enjoy materialistic life. Okay? But then he says, Adanta Gope Vishitam Tamsham Puna Puna Charvana. You all should try to memorize this verse. It's very important. Okay. So Griha Vrata or Griha Medi is the same thing. And for them, they think sex life is the most important thing. Okay. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, anything to do with sense enjoyment, we want to minimize it completely. So therefore, people who see us, they see us as a threat to their lifestyles. And therefore, they think we are crazy people, we don't know what enjoyment is, we're missing out. That's how they talk. Text 41. Kanamavira Vikyatam
Kanamavira Vikyatam
Madanyam Priyadarshanam
Madanyam Priyadarshanam
Navrinita Priyam Praptam
Navrinita Priyam Praptam
Adrishi Twadrisham Patim
Madhuri Tadvasham Patim.
My dear hero, who in this world will not accept a husband like you? You're so famous, so magnanimous, so beautiful, and so easily gotten.
Easily good.
So it's like that, you know. She's calling him magnanimous because he will give her many things when she marries. House, wealth, jewelry, children. So therefore he's magnanimous in that sense. And so why would not anyone want him as a husband? That is a good question. Like that. So there's a case in the last paragraph, Prabhupada writes, in this regard the word Vikyatam is very significant. A man is always famous for his aggression toward a beautiful woman. Such aggression is sometimes considered rape. Although rape is not legally allowed, it is a fact that a woman likes a man who is very expert at rape. Now the word in the old English, rape means a different, like ravishing, like that. So Prabhupada is educated in in a different time period. So that time rape wasn't like that, So ravishing, like kidnapping and taking them away. Those are all considered like rape like that. But now it's more sexual, So this thing is a very sticky point with people who read, particularly women. When they read this, how can Prabhupada recommend it? So there is a paper by some devotee, Mataji, who explains this usage. Yeah. So we all, I think it's online, so I saw it. Either Dandavats or somewhere it was on. So you all can check that out.
Even the previous purport, there was a reading in the same chapter. Prabhupada says, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Hitler, Napoleon are great heroes.
Heroes, yeah.
That word is generally not
Yeah, okay. That is also, they think that he's supporting all the thing, but it's not that. He means they are heroic in the way they are executing their thing. He's not saying they are a good person, because the term hero means for people positive. Yeah, they want to see hero and the other person is enemy or demon, then they will say, yeah, okay. But his point is chivalry and all, they have those qualities. Yeah, that's a good point. Text 42. Kashyamanaste bhuvivogi bhogayo
Kashyamanaste bhuvivogi bhogayo
Sriyana satche bhuyayo mahabhuja
Sriyana satchet bhuyayo mahabhuja
Yonadavardadim alam grinodata
Yonadavardadim alam grinodhata
Smiktavalokena charati pohitam
Smitavalokena charachapohitam.
O mighty arm, who in this world will not be attracted by your arms, which are just like the bodies of serpents. Actually, you relieve the distress of husbandless women like us by your attractive smile and aggressive mercy. We think that you are traveling on the surface of the earth just to benefit us only. Anyway, right, so it's all, the whole idea is just sex and so, text 43.
May I say something?
Yeah.
I know Prabhupada mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also that woman is a lower birth. We understand that thing. But reading this,
It reinforces.
it reinforces and
The negative.
emphasizes it, and then it feels bad being in such a degraded species. It really feels bad.
Well, it is only, as I said, if you identify with the body.
That's what it is. I know we don't have to,
Yeah.
but when we read about
Yeah,
this,
true, because we are not pure yet. We are still identifying a man and woman thing. But we are actually servants of Krishna. And that's one thing. The other thing is, if you identify yourself as a devotee, it doesn't apply to you. A devotee is not applicable in this sense. This is for people who don't really see spiritual life in their pursuit of happiness, right? Right? When you come to America, pursuit of happiness. That's what it is. So in any case, all these are for us to understand. Okay, if you want to say, I'm in a degraded situation, so what are you going to do about it?
Nothing, just follow the process.
Exactly,
chant, that's
exactly.
It.
So
I have nothing in
look
my
at the
hand.
positive thing.
Yes.
Okay, so now, just like, it doesn't matter whether you're man or woman, we are all in a bad situation. So we have to use the best use of a bad bargain.
Krishna says that Mam hi partha vyapasitya yepishu papa yunai striyo vaishyastata shudras tepi yanti parambati.
Yeah,
So we have
that's
equal
true.
opportunity.
He says that also.
So the earlier verses was also talking about men was full of lust. So you cannot consider like that, Then will be thinking,
But
I'm in a degraded
women's
state.
के लिए बहुत specifically this has been mentioned,
No, it is like that, it's just like, if you are buying like car, right? One is a Cadillac or another is a BMW. You cannot compare like apples to oranges. There is some benefits in one and there are some benefits in another. But of the two, one is slightly better. The reason is they say that the nature of when a species go into that particular body or whatever, one living entity, is much suited for spiritual uptake. They can do that in that. But in the other one, because of the makeup of the body, they are more suited for economic development. So that is how it is. But if they follow the Vedic culture, you see, just like Archie, she followed whatever her husband did, she got full benefit.
Yeah, we have great woman examples.
Exactly.
We have
Kunti,
Kunti Maharani
so many.
and
So
right,
therefore
and
we shouldn't waste our time thinking about this over and over again, because it's there to trap people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. These things are there to stop people who are pretenders, who identify women's liberation. When they catch this, they stop doing all the good things. They say this is it, this is nonsense. But you can see that's what they want. But an intelligent lady will read and say, okay, so I have a bad situation, let me see how to improve. Let me get out of this bad situation. Let me go back to Godhead. But having said that, Prabhupada said a woman can love Krishna much easily than a man.
Soft hearts.
Huh?
They're soft hearts.
Yeah. So they can come to the temple. You can see mostly women come to more temple. But if they're not Krishna conscious, then they'll cause problems. Text 43. Narada Vacha
Narada Vacha
Titau Dampati Tatra
Tita Dampati Tatra
Samudya Samayam Mitaha
Samudya Samayam Mitaha
Tam Pravishya Purim Rajam
Tam Pravishya Purim Rajam
Mudate Satam Samaha
Mudate Satam Samaha.
Great sage Narada continued, my dear king, those two, the man and the woman, supporting one another through mutual understanding, entered the city and enjoyed life for 100 years. Okay. So you can see Prabhupada says every living entity have 100 years only, right? Even Brahma lives for 100. Even though from our point of view he lives for 311 trillion,
40 billion.
years. Text 44. Upagīya mano lalitam
Upagīyamano lalitam
Tatra tatra chāgāyakai
Tatra Tatra Chāgāyakai
Kridan parivritta stribir
Kridan Parivritta Strivir
Radinim visacchucha.
Radinim Shaschucha.
Many professional singers used to sing about the glories of King Puranjana and his glorious activities. When it was too hot in the summer, he used to enter a reservoir of water. He would surround himself with many women and enjoy their company. It's just going through different processes of enjoyment in life. Prabhupada says there are different stages of life. One stage is called Jagrata or life of awakening. And then another is called Swapna or life of dream.